Right, if you are watching this video, I'm assuming that you have read the poems and you have attempted to answer the questions, and I will now go through the poems with you and we will then find the answers to the different questions. All right, the first poem is called My Sister Jane, and I'm going to read it first and then look at some of the words, and then we're going to answer the questions. So, My Sister Jane by Ted Hughes. And I say nothing, no, not a word, about our Jane. Haven't you heard? She's a bird, a bird, a bird, a bird. Oh, it never would do to let folks know my sister's nothing but a great big crow. Each day we daren't send her to school. She pulls on stockings of thick blue wool to make her pin crow legs look right, then fits a wig of curls on tight and dark spectacles, a huge pair, to cover her very crowy stare. Oh, it never would do to let folks know my sister's nothing but a great big crow. When visitors come, she sits upright, with her wings and her tails tucked out of sight. They think her queer, but extremely polite. Then, when the visitors have gone, she whips out her wings and with her wig on, whirls through the house at the height of your head. Duck, duck, or she'll knock you dead. Oh, it never would do to let folks know my sister's nothing but a great big crow. At meals, whatever she sees, she'll stab it, because she's a crow and that's a crow habit. My mother says, Jane, your manners, please. Then she'll sit quietly on the cheese or play the piano nicely by dancing on the keys. Oh, it never would do to let folks know my sister's nothing but a great big crow. Okay, so just looking at the, that I didn't mean to do that. Just looking at the structure of the poem, you will notice obviously that there are 4 stanzas. And one thing that is quite apparent, quite obvious, is that, so I'm going to select a color here, that each stanza ends with the same 2 lines. And the line is, oh, it never would do to let folks know my sister's nothing but a great big crow. Why do you think there is no use in telling people that she's a crow? Because they probably wouldn't believe the poet, right? Because they don't see it, do they? So I get the feeling only the poet sees this, that his sister is a crow. Obviously, she's not literally a crow, and that brings us to our first question, namely, name the figure of speech used in this poem. So he is comparing her. It's a comparison. Comparison. And he is comparing her to a crow. And he's not saying she's like a crow. He says, no, she is a crow. And we call this type of comparison a metaphor. Right. In the next part, we are asked to identify what parts of Jane's body are similar to those of a crow. So he starts off by saying that she's a bird, and then he says that she pulls on stockings of thick blue wool to make her crow legs look right. So this part, right, the legs, she has the legs of a crow, and then she has the feathers or the wig with the curls, so she's got the feathers of a crow, and it's dark, right? So her hair is dark like a crow's wings, and she has these eyes that look like eyes of a crow. So what parts of the body are similar? Here we could say her legs, her hair and her eyes are similar to those of a crow. What are some of the things that Jane does, which metaphorically speaking make her a crow? So now we're going to look at some actions. Oh no, hang on. Some actions that Jane performs. So she whirls through the house at the height of your head. So she moves quickly like a crow. She stabs at the food without any manners, right? She'll dance on the piano keys. All right, so coming back to the question, what things does she do? And she moves quickly. We can try and put it in our own words here. She moves quickly. She picks at the food. Maybe she has no manners. And then she dances. So her piano playing sounds like a crow dancing on the keys. Piano playing sounds like a crow dancing on the keys. Thanks for bearing with me. Okay, do you think that by using a metaphor of a bird to describe Jane the poet as being cruel in any way? And here you will need to give your own opinion, right? And you have to motivate it. So you might say, yes, it is cruel because the things that the poet names are not very nice. She doesn't seem to be a very nice person. And a crow is usually not associated with very good things. So unlike a dove, maybe, that would have a more positive connotation, whereas a crow just has really negative imagery connected to it. So I think that is maybe being a little bit cruel. Or you could maybe say, no, you just think that the poet is being funny, because siblings feel like that about each other. In what ways do you think the poet could be exaggerating in his description of Jane? So just looking back here, I don't know if her spectacles are really huge. Does she really have pin crow legs? I think that might be an exaggeration. I'm sure she just has thin legs, but not pin crow legs. Maybe the way that she whirls through the house at the height of your head. She obviously doesn't move that high. She just moves like a normal person, so that's an exaggeration. And then, of course, she'll knock you dead. That is an exaggeration right there. She is just not going to kill you, just probably bump into you. Okay, so I think that's good there. All right, let's go to the second part. Okay, soldiers tramp and horses stamp, whistle go tweet, drum get beat, big guns bang and cymbals clang, shuffle, shove, it's parades I love. Which figure of speech has been used the most in the poem above, and give some examples? I'm sure that you have identified that it's a sound device and it is called onomatopoeia. And some examples are tramp, stamp, tweet, beat, bang, clang, shuffle, shove. Those are all the examples, so you should at least have some of those. Okay, easy little short poem. If I had to ask you how to identify the rhyme scheme here, A, B, C, D. Stamp, beat, clang, love. All right. Okay, and lastly, this short little poem here, we're going to study it and look for figures of speech in it. Time out. Help, how much my head hurts. My mouth is as dry as a desert. My throat is sore, my voice is a goner. My heart is beating as fast as a tiger. My hand is a rattling snake. My face is a tomato. Bye bye, boring life. I cannot take it no more. I lay my head upon my knee. Now blow the whistle, referee. All right, so what is this poem about? It's obviously about someone who would like to be placed on timeout. He's running on the field. And he's exhausted. So that's it. He's done shouting on the field. Okay, so let's just start right in the get-go. My help, how much my head hurts. Ha, ha, ha. And this is sound device called alliteration. The next one, my mouth is as dry as a desert. There's a comparison, comparing the mouth to the desert using the word as. So this is a simile. Can you find another simile in the poem? Here it is. My heart is beating as fast as a tiger. And are there any others? No. Okay. Next, my throat is sore. There's nothing there. My voice is a goner. It's gone. My hand is a rattling snake. That's another comparison there, but we're not using the word like or as, so this is a metaphor. And right below it, my face is a tomato. That again is a metaphor. And then we have another example of alliteration. Bye bye boring. Ba ba ba. Cannot take it no more. I lay my head upon my knee. Now blow the whistle, referee. No, whistle. Whistle. No, if whistle is onomatopoeia, I don't think so. Okay. Right, guys, that's it. I hope that it's all clear now, and I sincerely hope that you got most of the answers right. Please add anything that you didn't get onto your worksheets. All right. Goodbye.